All right, I'll just demo this quickly and then I want to show you what I did to it. I already showed you in the last video my clear pedal enclosure. I still have to drill the holes in it. I'll show you what I did, but I want to demo it first to show you what it sounds like. It sounds very good. Oops, hold on a second. I do not like the buffered bypass because, well, I can show you that actually. It's very, for me anyway, the way I like to play, very gingerly sometimes. It's very compressed. It's not actually not very compressed, but any compression is, not enough bypass. I want more bypass than that. So, all right, here it is. Here's just my plain guitar signal bypassed. You can hear that compression right away. Pop, 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 pop. I do not like that compression. So that's got to be, I'm going to put a switch in it, just like VR that's missing in the mail. The one that I ordered from very far away land that's missing in the mail, or it's on a very slow boat. Well, that has a switch in it, and that's what I'm going to do to this one. I'm going to find out how to make the KTR mod to a clown, and I'll do that. So here it is on. I'm going to show you in a clean boost mode. The tone is nice. That crackling is static because I'm not grounded out. I'm touching all the metal to the carpet and stuff. All right. It's late, so well, it's not late. It's still last night, actually. The clocks are out of their minds. So roll the volume down, like you know how you have to do. That's the mod. I'll show it to you. Is my knob, so my volume and my driver on the opposite sides. So volume down. Or wait a minute, which is drive here? Maybe that's volume and this is drive. No, that's volume. This is drive. Volume down. Drive up. I can't play because it's still last night. All right, so now I'll turn that off, put this up, and I'll show you. Oh, I want to tell you, Nico told me to tell you. He's like, Michael, make sure that you tell them to be very careful soldering. Tell them what you ran into, So I will tell you what I ran into. Hold on. What I ran into was Troubleshooting City. First, there was some people clowning around on the internet, and they were showing all different versions of wiring this thing, and I was like, oh, whoa, taking me in circles. I'm very good at gluing things. The first two pedals I did worked fine. I don't know a lot about science, so it was difficult for me. I had my LED wired backwards, which will not blow the circuit, but I ended up just cutting the legs rather than trying to unsolder it. And my LED is actually cool enough, going to be mounted inside my glass enclosure, in case you didn't see that. Hold on. Just so you don't have to watch the other video. This is very cool. It's very cool. There's my glass enclosure, see? And this LED and everything's going to go right inside of it, see? I got to drill the holes for the switch and the knobs, and then eventually I'm going to put a switch for bypass on there, either on the side or on the top. This is still the original paint with the nice little, negative center in and out. I like that. So there it is. That's very cool, right? And this is way heavier than the stuff I put on the other one. So what I did was this. Basically, if the card would be facing up like this, right? And I will solder I mentioned it in another video, but I'll go over it again. And it will solder the pots to the side, but, I don't want that because I want to see this populace. You know, that's the whole point of my glass enclosure, right? And the LED inside. That was a cool idea. I'm excited about that. I just made it as tall as, about as tall as the tallest capacitor, you know, standing up in there. So that's cool. And let me unhook this instead of leaving it dangling on there. Battery tester. Ooh, that's a good one. All right. So what I did, instead of soldering the pots on this side, I could have just turned it over and soldered the pots on this side, and one of two things would have happened. Either the circuit would not work, or everything would work in reverse counterclockwise, which, you know, who would want that? Nobody. I wouldn't want that. So what I did was I took the pots from this side of the card over to this side, just like that, and let the legs hang over. And because of my, what was the reasoning here? Oh, because the card does not usually stand up this way, I had to block up the, I don't know if you can see the blocks in there. Let's see. Yeah, you can almost see them. I had to block up the pieces higher, right? So they're up higher, and I managed to still jumper these legs, solder these legs, so they're actually fastened to the board. They're still rigid. You know, the board can hang on the pots, and you know, there's never going to be anybody standing on that board. So so then what I did, you know, and that man, I can't remember the name of his screen. He's the one that built the synthesizer with the 1x4s around it. You know, he made it out of a saw and wood and everything. Fairy something. Well, he's one of the guys who built the ketone delay, if you look that video up. But anyway, he's the one that told me to put the jumpers on the, you know, the legs here, so that can't possibly short. That's a great idea. This one has 6. Oh, so what happens by doing this, right? My tone stays in the middle, but my volume and my drive switch, which, you know, like, big deal. Actually, it seems to me that the volume should be on the left side, right? Read from left to right, right? So the volume should be on the left side and the drive should be on the right side. So that switch actually works out great. So I got nice colorful wires to show there. As you can see, that'll show in the enclosure. See? Don't snore my video, Nico. And then it's okay, you can snore if you need to, brother. And then, you know, I twisted this up and I put a couple shrink wraps on it. And I put my increased battery snap on there. See? One of those nice hard Radio Shack snaps. See that one? That's the real deal right there. It'll last for 1.7 trillion snaps before it breaks. I don't know, I made that up. But, oh, so what I did was I had this little input wire right here, had a little brushy hair of wire that just was touching the first leg of the input, what is this, input op amp, like a ramp up here. I guess it ramps it up to 12 volts or whatever it does. Well, I'm not sure about science or anything. I just glue things, but I'm learning. But that little brushy hair touching that just stopped the whole circuit from working. And I went around and around. I checked everything. I resoldered several joints. I was like, what is going on? But yeah, the directions are horrible for showing you how to wire this if you don't know about, you know, inputs and outputs. And this one is reverse. Like the switching is not on the input. There is no ring on the input. The switching for, you know, the power LED and stuff is on the output, which is, you know, different than most pedals. But see, I made this nice rainbow wire harness here. Look at this. You see where it comes off the card here? It'll go this way. See, it's all rainbow, all the colors there. Beautiful, right? And then this one will go that way, and it has the hard battery snap. Oh, there go those nuts again. Hold on a minute. These just keep spinning off. I'm losing them all over. Hold on a second. One moment, please. Please stand by. We're experiencing operating difficulties. Please stand by. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Alright, so put that on. Tighten it down. I don't want to lose that. I need those. Alright, so there you go. I wanted to show you the beautiful jump ring. Wait a minute, get this nonsense out of the way. My beautiful jump ring job there. These are just smashed up from laying it on the floor. I mean, I can turn those so that they're nice and perfectly. I made them all the same length and everything, you know. When I use different color wires, I can mash them together and make them look neater. Inside the enclosure, you will see all that. And there you go. Now these diodes, I showed you those in the other video if you watched. These clipping diodes are totally misshapen, old stock. They're not, they would have never been sold as new. They're what's known as seconds, but they absolutely had a reading. And as you can hear, they're not overly grainy. They're actually very smooth and retain a very clear distortion. So that's notable. I'm anxious to give this a good run and get it heated up and bang on it, if I can get away with that without getting arrested again. All right, so there you go. See what if I can show you what it's going to look like. I don't want to scratch the thing because I haven't drilled the holes yet. But see, everything's going to go right in there. That's Nico snoring in the background. He has a germanium larynx. See, it's a little smoother and more earthy sounding than a silicon larynx. Uh-oh, he woke up. Uh-oh, Blippo. All right, so there it is. Another glass house. In case you didn't see it, this is my first glass house enclosure. This is way lighter stuff, but I didn't put the switch on it. It's made of cardboard because the Lantone boxes are way too small. Obviously not, this one is not. And then this one, I did manage to squeeze it into a Lantone box, which still is way too small, and the battery fits diagonal because it rides up across the screw thing, and I can't upgrade the battery snap. This box and these knobs touch, it's just way too small. But this one has the bias pot in it. This is the OD1. This one sounds good also, and this bias pot makes it almost difficult to explain what it sounds like because it changes so much. But if you watch the video on this one, I do explain it. This is the T-tone delay or the Lantone delay. This is very awesome sounding. Both of them have old Texas Instruments chips, 82 and a 72. This one has 72, and it looks like an international. That would be like trucking company and farm equipment. Power op amp there. Oh, I guess that's what it looks like, an I for international, but these are 1972. Well, they don't call it that. They call it TL072 Texas Instruments chips. And these are old stock. I wouldn't call them new because they wouldn't sell them as new. They're seconds. They were oxidized and everything. I was worried. I was like, oh no, it's not going to work. But it works very good, as you can hear. So yeah, and that was my silly little thing, was this. I used blue and green wire here. Will be there'll be a ring and a tip here. What one is that? Will be my ring. My ring wire was just a hair of it was hanging off and touching the first leg of this op amp socket holder, and the whole circuit was like just nothing. Wouldn't light up, wouldn't turn on, wouldn't do a thing, nothing. So yeah, something so silly. And I went around and around. I checked every single connection on my jumpers like twice. You know, I even redid some of my sleeves a few times. But yeah, I did a lot to this, but it looks cool, right? Yeah, it would have normally been wired that way, but I wired it this way, which is the same thing. If you want to do it yourself, you just take the pot and you bring it to this side. And then, of course, you're going to have to find a way to raise these up so they're tall enough to accommodate your capacitors. which I put little blocks of wood under them, which make no difference because they're mounted, you know, on legs. I soldered little legs through here from scraps that I had cut off of components, and then I welded the legs to the sides of these, so it's basically, you know, totally structural. I don't want to keep swinging it around like a monkey. But I guess it's it. Nico said to make sure I told you about the silly little mistakes, so don't get discouraged. Could be something so simple. Both of these worked on the first try. But anyway, that's the first glass house enclosure. Yeah, I drew around it with a marker very sloppily. I didn't have a paintbrush, and I used it, you know, I taped it off and I used a Q-tip, which made it look very scary looking. But yeah, that's cool. I wish the card was up further, but I didn't want to disconnect the switch from the card. So, oh yeah, it's got a sliding battery door. That was Nico's idea. See, there's plenty of room for the battery in that one. Machiel Edward Lee, 19 so-called 72. That's my name. Not Patata Shmoo, not Anthropos, Enter Shmoo. It's Machiel. Machiel is my name. And then I wrote on here, Lantone Delay, glass house enclosure, right? And then this one, I actually used the Lantone sticker. You can take them off the bag. It comes off very easily off the component bag. It's a nice sticker. You could fit it right on the end if you wanted to. These boxes are very hard to use. They do not well accommodate battery. These rubber feet are very good, by the way. So these circuits are awesome. They sound so good, but these boxes, no good, no good. Good box, bad size, bad size. That's not a good size. I mean, if you like to try to smash things, then this is good. But when the battery doesn't fit, even if you're successful and the battery doesn't fit, it's like discouraging, you know. But I want to put legs on this trim pot and bring this trim pot up and epoxy it, so that all you got to do is, you know, you could stick your pocket knife right in there and turn it. Maybe that would be a good idea. Maybe it wouldn't be, because then, you know, every Tom, Joe, and Jose will be trying to turn it at the gig, like, hey, what does this thing do? Hey, don't touch that. It took me like 12 years to get it where I want it. So there you go, glass house number 2. And I scratched it a little when I was like rolling it around in the filings, and I wasn't thinking, I was rolling it around in my filings as I was filing. Well, I did a good job cutting this. If you want to watch that video, shows how to use a Dremel tool cutter without getting killed, which these were drilled in the sides with a step bit and then cut with a Dremel tool, which, you know, can straighten itself out, but also is very explosive. So you can watch that video for safety on using a Dremel tool cutter. And then, you know, I used a file to make the lines straight, which obviously did a way good job straightening them out. I'm very proud of myself. All right, so that's that. I'm just trying to think if I forgot something. Oh yeah, I did. Hold on. This is important. In case you didn't see the other videos or don't want to watch the other videos, these directions do not tell you much. There's some misleading videos, and people got their wires crossed, and different people use different color wires. And then they tell you to see my website, and then you see the website and it says, oh, I had the wires crossed on the, you know, on the video. I had to fix it because I had one overlapping the other. It's hard to find information. These pictures, every one of them that you need to see is blurry. Then some of the other details. This should have been coupled with the black and white one that they used to have, what would show you where to connect the wires. This color mixed with that would have been fuller directions. And the check sheet, because I liked doing the check sheet when I would do my inventory. This one I only numerically counted my resistors and counted my capacitors, and there were some value differences that were notable, extremely notable actually, and different names for things. Like, for instance, maybe it would say 683, but it would say 668N on the board, which as you do your deduction and you go through, you realize, like, oh, 68N must be that 683, you know. And then the other thing would be the directional, it doesn't show you a plus where the directionals are. The shaded area, what you would think, wow, shaded area must be plus, that's actually the negative. And they didn't show you which direction to put your LED in. The flat side, thank you for the person who posted that, the flat side of the LED shape. It's a circle with a flat side. That's the negative side. Again, right? You would think flat side, ooh, that's the special side. That must be the positive side. No, it isn't. So chip direction is very important, I guess, supposedly. There's a dot on the chip. So the notch side of the chip socket is where the dot on the chip goes. So this one's actually upside down. This one's right side up, this one's upside down, and then watch they both have an indent on the end of those, and line those up. Because chip direction supposedly matters also, which I didn't know. I'm learning. So there you go. Glass house enclosure, and I jumpered it, and I put my pots on the other side. I wanted to actually smash the wires so I could see all the colors, but I don't know, maybe I won't do that. I'll see how it looks. I get a little fancy. This is very, very fancy, this rainbow switch here. Oh yeah, and I'm modifying it. Don't forget, I'm modifying it for true bypass switching, which is going to include a bunch more wires and a fancy switch. I want to get it all enclosed and working first, and then reach out for help. How do you do a KTR mod on a standard clone? All right, that's that. That's 3 Lantone pedals / AliExpress / T-Tone / Protel. What is it called? Proteltone @gmail.com. Those are the different. Oh, it's on the card. Hold on. I can't see that. Protal, Protal, Proteltone, T-Tone, or Lantone, or AliExpress. All the same circuits. Very good. Lantone on Amazon. This one is called Gold Upgrade. DIY Klon Gold Upgrade. And those are new, old stock. Seconds. They wouldn't have been sold. They're very, very scary looking. Look like 2, beetles with, rigor mortis. They're all bent and warped and bloated, but they absolutely register and they play. And they sound good. So, that's the thing. These guys put like old parts in here, old stock parts in these, and all these pedals. They sound so good. So you figure it. This was $45. What would a quality Klon cost? And I learned how to do a whole bunch of things, including my own modifications. So this one was $27. Not this box. This cardboard box is priceless. Priceless cardboard box. This one was $27. This one was $45. So, you figure it out. 27, 30, 60, 60, and then 45. So, $105. Well, it was maybe there's a little tax on that. So like $107. And I've got 3 severely excellent sounding pedals. Of course, you can blunder them. I did it twice now. The second one I did was blunderless. It was like flawless, like first try everything. And this one worked first try also. This one did not work first try. But the blunder was not paying attention, like getting carried away. Like, oh, these are all my, my one. What is it? One UF, ultrafarad, microfarad. These are all my 1 capacitors here, and no, they're not. You got two 47s in there. So as you see, and then unsoldering something and then trying to get it pushed back through that wet solder, because you can't get a solder sucker on that. It doesn't, you can't even open the hole up, and you can't drill it out even with a pin drill because you'll destroy the trace. And then you might have to like literally scratch it and resolder a new trace. So, you know, it's not worth it to make, you know, mistakes not paying attention. So that's that. Yeah, I had to watch several videos. And the best thing you can do, my advice, don't look at the coloring of the wiring. Because mine is different from one guy's, is different from another guy's, is different from another guy's, is different from another guy's. You know, one guy shows red, black, red, white, white, black, red, or whatever, you know, or the other way around. And just look at the thing. The switch goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, and leave the middles open. Then this one is like bottom one goes on your L leg, and then in order going up, you know, if your L leg is on the bottom, then it will be middle and top. Wait, hold on, let me make sure I know what I'm talking about. No, it's the other way around. It is the top wire is, hold on a moment. Top wire is your L leg, middle wire is the next one up, and your bottom wire is the last one. So that's how that works. Then this one is, I hope this helps because I had to go around and around looking at several different things to find this out. Bottom wire is your sleeve. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I mistaken? Yes, I am. Bottom wire is your tip. Bottom wire is your tip. Middle wire is your ring. Wait a minute. No. Middle wire is your sleeve. So, hold on. I wrote it down for you. I'm going to get it. Hold on. Because this is what I had to search for. And it doesn't tell you these things. It does not tell you. Hold on a moment. As a matter of fact, it doesn't say anything. It's a piece of paper. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Ooh. All right. I wrote it. First I started writing the colors, and then I was like, you know what? Forget colors because everybody's using different colors. So, you know, there's a slope on your jack. So basically, on this, here, I'll make sure I show you here. Whether you wire it from the back side of the card or the front side of the card, mine's on the side with the components. From the top to the bottom is ring, sleeve, tip. Ring, sleeve, tip. From the top to the bottom. And then on this side, you have your inside wire will be your slope. And then, what is the slope? I want to tell you the right thing. Yeah, the slope is the ring. Will be your slope. And then first one, obviously, will be your tip. First one, counterclockwise of that will be your tip, will be the outside wire. So let me make sure I'm telling you the right thing. Nope, I told you the wrong thing. No, I didn't. My inside wire is my slope. The slope is just, you know, the angle on the thing here. Can't see it in the pictures. And in the video, the guys keep covering it with their hands like they're doing a magic trick. I'm like, whoa, trying to pause the video. So, yeah, the inside wire is your sleeve, and the outside wire is your tip. So then on the switch, it goes, you put the tabs with the holes facing up and down, not vertically, sideways. So they're long ways like this. And it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Middle ones are empty. All right. So that's everything. I tell you everything. Oh, and I told you this. The LED. This is all stuff I had to research, so I hope I'm helping you. The LED is a circle on the back with a line. The line is the negative side. The shaded sides of the circle are not the positive side. Those are the negative sides. Yeah, that's about that. Oh, and if your diodes come like mine, all mangled, and you can't tell what side is which, when you do your reading with your meter, I show how to do that in the other video. Your common or your COM or your black side is the side with the ring. So when they show the ring, that's not the positive side, it's the negative side. So when you say the ring goes this way, it's drawn on the card, that's your negative side. So that's how you can, if you can't see it, that's how you can test the diode to find out which side is which. Because on these ones, I couldn't see it because these are, bloated old stock seconds, but they sound severely good. Thank you, Lancome. Thank you again. That's 3 in a row now. What is that? 3 in a row, like I get an extra shot now, right? If it's the 10th frame. All right, that's it. I'm out of here. Bye. I'll show you when it's done.